Selector.
This one goes out to you and yours. Worldwide, I say, hey, I'll be gone today, but I'll be back from around the way. Seems like everywhere I go, the more I see.
Hello everyone, welcome back. This is Dandelion Song with Records of the Grand Historian. It's nice to see you guys again, loves, and I think I need to address something that's going on my channel. I know I don't have huge views, but this happened to me with other people's channels when I first started following Enter the Stars. It became to where I started commenting a lot and building a relationship with the people, and I got blocked to where I couldn't see his videos for a few weeks actually. And I followed him on Google Plus, and I was able to get to his videos from there, but I still wasn't able to comment. So finally I sent him a message telling him I was blocked. Well, so I just want to put that up there because if you guys are leaving comments somewhere and I'm not getting them, you will get the feeling that all of a sudden, you know, I'm just ignoring you. And I'm not. I can't see your comments. And I actually can't see your views either. So it's kind of amazing that I would have gotten the attention of someone who's taking the time to block this already. But there is some pretty eye-opening information here. So if you're out there, I am not ignoring you. You will probably have to Google Plus message me or find some other way to message me. But eventually they will give up and you'll be able to, hopefully things will go back to normal. So, but our last video we left off on, I had a surprise at the end of the last video, and you have to go see the last video about the dragon horse where we learn about the symbolism here of Marduk Ra, and that most likely this was not a mythological beast, which I think is, you know, I like to hear stuff like that. So, well, I was looking around in here, and I found this Ankh facing. Do you see it? Let me get it to the center. Facing in this direction. The Ankh is something that was used to resurrect. It was a resurrection tool, and here we have from the handle to the tip. See, this is where, I don't know if you can see, this is where the beginning of the circle starts. So that's 0.9, and then it looks like it's a 51 degree heading. And we just saw a lot of 155s in the Antioch gematria numbers, but 51 is also a 6. So the 51 is a 6, and that is the sign of the Vav letter, which is a 6, and it has the upward chalice and the stem, the Trinity of Suns, and the 3 stars of Orion. This is a Cathar coin here, and this has the 8 sign here. It has the sign of Venus here. They separated the 2 zeros. I can't see the top of it to count how many of these there are. But this, then I switched to the next one. I wanted to show you how the Rosicrucian sign, the sign of the rose, is also a little bit like an Ankh. To just try and tie all that together. I had a lot of pictures. There's a lot of Cathar Ankh connections. And my other thing that I wanted to say was that the coin that I showed you, you can kind of see how this could be seen as a globus cruciger, can't you? So that's the other thing I wanted to say. All right. And anyway, let's look around here a little bit more. So we have this design in here. Let me take this down so I can click on these. We have looks like a courtyard. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, so there's a 15 there to match your 51 on this side. Then we have, is this an obelisk? Some kind of a thing here. They're not going to show us if it has height, but it looks like it throws a shadow. So it's a 51. Wait, did I do this right? No, it's a 15, 16, and a 17, which is an 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 is the number of completion. Hi, so finding this during the editing process, 12 is the number of completion. It's the number of the zodiac, like I mentioned, but it's also the number L, and we did decode the number L quite a bit in recent words. and that would be the right turn that goes from one dimension to dimension, and it would also be in the achromatic cipher, it's the Christ coming through the M in that cipher of the alphabet, so something else to think about. And then usually you have the 13 in the center, and the 13 is usually Ra. That's why he has the circumpunct as his symbol. So in the center here, we have the 15 plus 2. What's this? Let's just get a picture. Okay, well anyway, in the next video after this one, we're going to go into more detail on all of those Ankhs, and I think you're really going to like it. But first, here we go back to Paris to check out our Ankh from the sky, right here in Disneyland. That's kind of, are you scratching your head on this? So what I'd like to do now is go look in the hieroglyphs, look in the illustrations for the Ankh who has its hands up like this. This is actually, see, they didn't really do this exactly right, but this is actually the Pleiadian W in the ancient Egyptian symbolism, where they have the Ankh with his hands like the, in position similar to this. The shoulders come down into a W, which is the Pleiadian mark of life. It's also a Garuda mark. So there's a lot of things that I don't understand, but I'm just trying to tell you the clues that I do have. So it looks like they went to some trouble to show you this square right here. So let's go ahead and measure it. Let go. They're going to give us this line, so I'm going to go ahead and take that line. 0.8, and that's a 2777. Let's look this way. Click over here. Right in the middle of the crosswalk. And that's a 0.8. After you see tomorrow's video about the 8s and the origin of the Egyptian creation story, you will understand both of these 8s. It's pretty amazing. I wished I had known all that in school, but
8 times 4
we have to go find these things for ourselves, right? And that's the upright pentacle that we were talking about. Plus, it's also the inverse of the 23. So, in case this is your first video, deep embedded in my last 2 long videos, I was coming to the realization that the 23 and the 32, sometimes I see them in mirrors, and I think they're aspects of the 5. One is an upward pointed pentacle 5-pointed star, like at Starbucks is upward pointing. It has the 3 on the top. Like if you drew a line straight through the middle, you have 3 points on the top and 2 on the bottom of the upward facing one. So that would be the 3-2. And here we do see a 3-2 as a 8 times 4. Gosh, I hope I'm right about that. That would be bad math. Yeah, 32. Okay, then, so the downward facing star would be the 23. Now, so that makes sense, right? Because all these movies that we're seeing about 923 is the completion of the downward pointing star. You could see it that way. You could see it as a date, or you could see it that way. Or it could be a date and an idea of the completion of a downward pointing star, which is, and most of those things where we see, you know, all hell breaking loose, that does kind of go with the downward pointing star, which is the de-evolution of man, or the unevolved man, where the upward pointing star is the correctly evolved person. So having discovered that this last week, that's a little bit more encouraging for me when I think about Starbucks and Melazine, because I was a little worried about Starbucks and Melazine, because Melazine left a threat, you know, the last time when she spoke in public in the Middle Ages, which to her was like a year ago. But you know, if she's associating herself with an upward pointing star, that means that perhaps she is evolved and is no longer going to carry out that threat. Or it means they're being lied to. Okay, so we saw that degree. That heading was a 277.7 going in this direction, which would be the, let me orient my north so I can tell you. Oh, it looks like it's in the pure east direction, right? 277. This one would be the 186. So south is associated with the 86. Oh, it's an 8668. Wait, I might have just, let me go to the center of the crosswalk. Okay, so to the far end of the crosswalk is the 8668. Not making that up. So that's a mirror of your death number, which is when you 86 something, you stop it. And this is 8 feet long, 6 feet deep, and it's going in the south direction. Which, when you say something is going south, you mean that it's dying. So you're kind of getting all of these, all of this together, right? Okay, so we're still working on this cube here. So let's go. Let's take this to 0.08 here. I mean, yeah. And I'm trying to make it, this should be a 277 because we know that's what it should be. Yep, this way, just a tad. Okay, so it goes right to the middle of this tube. All right, I don't feel the need to measure the other one. Now, these Ankhs, they have a directional healing ability. Let's go from the top to the bottom. So this is half of 28. This is, you know, Casey with End of the Stars talks about this number is really important, having to do with the Twin Towers, and I think he's right. I think the Twin Tower timing is a reflection of solar science. These guys didn't worship the sun; they studied the sun. So you're just reading their books about the books that they wrote on the wall, with their illustrations about how they studied the sun. So they knew the rotation of the sun was 28 days, and that was an important number to them. And it's an important number because you see how they tell you that a woman's cycle is based on the moon. It's really based on the sun. And that's just a small example of how they give you everything 180 degrees wrong. But we are affected. Every 28 days we are affected by the complete rotation of the sun, and the ancient Egyptians understood that. So we have the 51 degree heading here. So let's take this out. And I haven't done this before, so maybe we'll discover something real time. And maybe we won't. Just make sure. I'm pretty sure this is a 51. We are back in Paris, and we're just going to grab this line again, but I zoomed in here and I remembered that on the video where I showed you the two twins, I didn't show you the male anatomy here of this twin. Let me zoom out in case this is your first video with me. Please go back and see my time-lapse videos. I'm going to make a time-lapse playlist, but I haven't done it yet. We have one twin facing this way, and she's a female twin. She has a uterus. We have another twin facing to your left. As you watch this, this would be his eyebrow and his nose, and the baby girl's eye is over here, and she has her cheek, and her eye is actually, she's actually looking through, and it's a small world lens over here, kind of like Saddam Hussein has his palace on the ancient Babylon. Another video. If you haven't been watching my videos, I know I'm speaking gibberish to you. You've got to go back and watch them, guys, if you're new. And welcome if you're new. And, okay, it's nice to have you here. But what we were looking at, and I just came back, and then I thought, oh, I didn't show you the male genitalia. And I still didn't, almost forgot. I believe this is the male genitalia on our little boy twin. And he has a hotel in Santa Fe. Probably if I do the geometry on that, maybe it's male. I don't know. I think there's symbolism about the male having more concrete than the female too. These guys are really good with their symbolisms. Okay, here we are with the Ankh. I'm going to draw this out. I'm going to pause this while I draw it out again so you don't have to watch this part. Alright, well I brought the line out and I accidentally dropped it, but I did get it to this crossing, and this is a crossing of other major lines. So, it is perfectly the 51-degree heading. We are a little bit close to Fukushima, some other things. We went through a few interesting things, nothing really precisely, but we're going to pick up this line again and keep going with it. But I want to show you that when I laid it down, it was a 51, and right here, it's a 144. Alright, just so you know. Alright. I'm just going to take it from here because I didn't record the length of the last line anyway, so I won't be able to add them together in case it matters. I'll have to just measure it again if we find anything. This is Papua New Guinea. Let's go to the 44. I really feel like this is an important place. I'd kind of like to, you know, live there or visit there for a long time. Let's check it out. Oh, that place at the crossing that's out in the ocean. If you live over there and you can go sea diving or take your equipment, there's going to be something in the ocean right there. There's going to be like a sunken city. Something's over there. So you can, you know, write a book, send me a thank you note, invite me to your lake house that you buy with all your money. Okay. Let's see here. Just taking a look here. I thought I saw something and then it went away. New Zealand is a really important place too. And Pegasus Bay, if you do the geometry on Pegasus, it comes up, you know, it's kind of a major player in gematria terms. It comes up a lot. I think it might have to it matches with Prince William. I'm not sure if that's offhand or if that's it. There's first degree and second degree and third degree and more gematria connections. So the first degrees are the most simple. And I don't know if it's a first or a second degree, and I'll have to explain to you what I mean by that. These are things that I'm not reading in a book. I'm intuitively figuring out. But Pegasus is, you know, we see this on our mobile oil here in the U.S. This, and here we go, Pegasus Canyon. It's not something, it's not just an empty fairy tale. There's something going on with that. See? Perfect. Do you guys see the line? I know I have a gazillion lines here. We're going to come up against the back of that Ankh. So it went 51, 144. There's a whole bunch of different headings in between. You could take them all the way along. And then it goes back to 39. I know it says 38 right there, but I'm going to say that the real number there is a 39. So we'll save this one too. I should call this the Ankh line. Alright, so we didn't really find anything particular, but we found the Ankh line. I'll put Ankh line part 3. And there's going to be some amazing things on this line. Alright, thanks for hanging out with me. Hope you're going to have a good day. I have some back to the book videos I hope to get out pretty soon.
I said, hey.